All right, I'm up here, I'm jamming. I let us go about a minute beyond 8 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. Get on in here because it's time. It is day 4. And I hope all of you are as excited as I am. We have been rocking and rolling. I just want to ask all of you in the chat, are you fired up and ready to go? Fired up and ready to go. If you're fired up and ready to go in the chat, let me know that you're fired up and ready to go for day 4 of the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. And I've got to tell you, we have been on quite the journey. I've been looking at all of your comments in the Facebook page. We are streaming on several platforms, so if you haven't joined the WealthyU Challenge, go to wealthyuchallenge.com so that we make sure that you get all of the information. So come on in here to give folks just a few minutes so we can get started to rock and roll. This 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is really about helping you accelerate your financial growth to 7 figures and beyond. That's the goal. That's the goal. So yes, I see Sandra, she's fired up and ready to go. Margaret, fired up and ready to go. Tricia, fired up and ready to go. Rowette, fired up and ready to go. Marquita, 100%. That's right, 100% fired up and ready to go. Quandra Turner, Cassandra Brooks. Cassandra, you heard us last night, girls. You was talking about, I'm in Hawaii watching all. I was like, you know you're wrong, girl, but it's all right. It's all right, Cassandra. One of my favorite places to go. And in fact, I lived there for about 3 years. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. So fired up and ready to go. So we've been on quite the journey. Good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens. I'm founder and CEO of WealthyU, and our goal, our mission is to help 1 million Black women achieve $1 million in net worth so that they can achieve the level of financial success they desire and they deserve, and create generational wealth, because that's what it's all about. And so my question to all of you, have you seen some amazing financial transformation stories this week in the chat? Let me know. You've had homework, and your homework last night was Dr. Sharon Dean's, her story, which was pretty incredible, from a negative $5,700 in net worth to over $500,000 in just 1 year. And what I want to say to all of you is that if she can do it, you can do it too. You have everything you need to be everything you need to be. The only thing standing between you and the financial transformations that you've seen over and over and over again this week really is knowledge. Agree or disagree? And you know, with the thing that I'm most excited about with Get Wealthy is that it is really, and I hope you all agree with me on this, it is really depicting Black women as we are, holding it down, taking care of everybody, right? In fact, Sharon said, hey, when you're the first professional in the family, you become the national bank of the family. And you know, the point that I make, and the shift that so many women make in WealthyU, is they begin to understand that they cannot be enablers, that they can no longer be rescuers. Because when you rescue people from their own mistakes, what happens is they never learn the lesson. They never learn the lesson. And so this is really about, WealthyU is designed to create the outcomes that you've seen all week. But more importantly, the most important thing is to help you understand that you are going to give from a half full cup. You're no longer going to give from a half full cup. You're going to give from a cup that is overflowing. But in order to do that, there are some things that you've got to do. You've got to shift from that poverty, middle income mindset to a wealth mindset. Agree or disagree with me? So that's the journey that we've been on this week. What I try to do with the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is to just give you a sneak peek into the kinds of knowledge and insight and concepts that the women in our WealthyU society and our WealthyU, our Legacy Wealth Accelerate, get exposure to. So I want to begin with that question. Have all of you gotten insight from this week? So we're in day 4. We've been to day 3. I need you to put in the chat, what is the most impactful concept that you have learned this week that you're going to be put into practice? That's what I want to know. What is the most impactful concept that you've learned in this challenge so far? Because we're not over yet. It's day 4. We're going into day 5, right? Diversify. That's exactly right. Love it, Anita. William Waters, multiple investment streams. That's right. You've got to have investments. If they can do it, I can do it. Yes, yes, Karen. That's right. Karen, let me tell you, honey, you're going to be the person that I'm interviewing on Get Wealthy. There's no question about it, because what I love about you is you've been showing up and leaning in every step of the way. Diversify, that's right. Don't leave balances on my credit cards. Planning for, you got to have a future focus. Don't let what you want today get in the way of what you want most, but first you got to decide what you want most. Ladies, wealth is not about money, right? It's about freedom, and it is about understanding. I love it. Make my money work for me, change my mindset, strategize, analyze my own investments. And here's what I want you to understand. That's right, Mary, analyze my investments. One of the most important things that you need to take away from the challenge is that everybody has unique investment opportunity levers, and they're different for everybody. Like, we've got unique experiences, we've got access to unique opportunities. And when we identify what they are and we pull them, that's how we accelerate. So I want to take us, before we go any further though, any further, one of the things I like to do, because it really reminds me personally of how far this journey, how far this road has been, and how far we've come on this journey. So watch the tape. Are you ready to take a leading role in your finances? Yes.
We're joined right now by author of the financial self-help book, A Purse of Your Own.
Deborah Owen, she wrote it. She's the mastermind behind this easy guide, and she's here now.
Women often get started later. We take care of everyone else, and we don't put anything into our purse.
Look at your neighbor and tell her, I'm prepared to prosper. Yes.
Author and wealth coach Deborah Owens uses powerful personal stories, humor, and the purse to show women how to manage their money.
I often hear women say, well, I don't do numbers. Well, the fact of the matter is we are responsible for 90% of the buying decisions in households.
What I believe is each one of you in this room has the power. And so I am calling on you to take action. Growth often comes disguised as adversity, when in fact, it is a gift that's being given to you so that you can grow.
Problems are opportunities. And what I want our viewers to understand is you don't need to react to short-term volatility.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what Deborah has to say.
My advice to Neville, start investing in that SEP IRA now. We need to shift, Roland. We need to shift from what I call this income mindset to a wealth mindset. And what that means is focusing on our personal balance sheet and making sure that our net worth is going up.
So if there is anyone sitting in this audience who believes I'm not smart enough, I don't have any money, kick all those doubts to the side.
I think truly the goal for every woman should be financial freedom. And that's when I don't have to work because my money is working for me.
All of you sitting in this room have the ability to create the wealth and to achieve financial freedom. You simply have to decide.
So the reason why I show that reel, literally every time I do a challenge or I do a master class, is because it reminds me of the journey. And like I said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. And those are clips from over 20 years of my career. You know, what the first one you saw was me with Bishop Jakes, God's Leading Ladies, at the Charlotte Coliseum with over 40,000 women. And the message has been consistent, is that the methodology has changed. That's what I want you to understand. So I wrote those books. I spoke all over the country wanting to financially empower women. But what was really, really clear was that it had to be more than empowerment. It needed to be a method, accountability, and support, right? That you need, and having this vision and seeing it come into life. And the evidence of that is your homework, watching those Get Wealthy episodes and seeing that when you have the right strategy, when you have the right mindset, when you have the right strategy, and then you execute, that you create that result over and over and over. That's the system. And by the way, that is the exact system I'm going to be sharing with you in our bonus session. So if you haven't signed up for our bonus session, I want to make sure that you do. In the chat, let's put the link. You have to apply for that session, but let's make sure that you do. So now let's get into what we're up to. And the first thing I want to do is level set and bring us to where we are today. And so for those of you who haven't been here all 3 days, let me just do a review. Day one, what's in your purse? Breaking through the 7 figures and beyond. And what we really learned was, first, your homework was Belinda, who broke through the 7 figures and beyond. I wanted you to see that that was real, and you got to identify what your wealth gap was. Day two, we did the Savvy Money Makeover, and those of you found money in the chat. I saw you find. How much money did you find? Are you still looking? Are you still reviewing your statements? Some of you in the chat, let me see. You found $1,000. You found $200. You found $500. Some of you found $2,000 in the chat. I want to see if you're still reviewing. That's right. But let's take an accounting, and let's make a public what do I want to say, confirmation of what we're going to now do. We found the money. Now, yesterday I talked about how you're going to accelerate your financial growth. You need to be looking at your personal rate of return. Some of you are under earning, and you need to make more money. You've been sitting in the same place, making the same amount of money, and it is time to level up. It's time to switch to that wealth mindset. Wow. I found over $4,000 by switching insurance bundles. That's what I'm saying. Those are the strategies that every one of these women, every one of the women that you saw in your homework did. You're going to pull out your excess saving and invest in. Listen, here's what I want you to know. If your money's not growing, if you're not making more than inflation, wow, Barbara, still checking. I found $1,200. Okay, but it is not enough to earn that money. You've got to figure out how to make that money grow. And the reason that so many of the women in WealthyU saw their portfolio accelerated so fast, right? Accelerated it so fast. So let's see. Monday it was Belinda, right? Belinda talked about, hey, I was an emotional spender, and it wasn't until I really took a look at my investments. If you didn't watch that Get Wealthy segment, all of them are posted on the replay page, right? Day two, who remembers what your homework was for day two? Day two was Leah, right? And Leah, within a year paid off all her debt, poof, all the way up to an 849 credit score, right? Won't he do it? It'll work if you work it though, ladies. Like what I want you to understand is this challenge was designed to give you exposure to the exact exact strategies that all of the women that you've seen with these phenomenal transformations have had. And look, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you, right? So in the chat, say, if it can happen for them, it can happen for me. I want you guys to get this. If it can happen for them, it can happen for me, but it will only work if you work it, right? If it can happen for them, it can happen for me. And I am committed to helping 1 million of you get there. The question I have is, how many of you are going to be one of the million with 1 million? It's happening. It's happening in front of you. I'm not, here's the thing, you know how you go on Instagram and you see people saying, I'm driving this car, I got this, I got that, right? Right. Where is the evidence of the proof and the proof of that? That's what I want to know. And so the reason that transparency and women sharing their stories, because it's real difficult getting y'all to talk about stuff, you know what I mean? But here's what I want you to know. If you come into WealthyU, if you want to join one of our programs, the commitment that I ask for every one of you is that when you have your financial transformation, that you share it with someone else. Because here, all I want to tell you is when I watch those, like I'm interviewing them, I don't see the final product until maybe a day before I get that tape. But I like to watch it fresh. And I have the same kind of aha moments that are, wow, that happened, or I don't know if you guys watch those interviews, you'll see my expression. It's like, it's real, right? Like I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That happened. So what I want you to know, that's right. I see it, everyone. Carolyn, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. Olivia, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. Cassandra, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. The only thing standing between you and the amount of financial success you desire and you deserve is knowledge, right? And that's really why I designed WealthyU. I'm someone who dealt with high net worth, ultra wealthy clients. I didn't come from wealth. And, when I saw the things that they did that we didn't, I was like, what's up with this? How come, is this a hidden secret? And it is. But once you know the process, once you really know how to apply it, just like anything else, we excel. All we ask is that you give us access to the information. But here's the only thing I want to say is the most powerful thing about WealthyU isn't even the information. It's not the information either. It's not just the knowledge. The knowledge is important, right? The knowledge is important, but the ability, the accountability and support and being around like-minded women, people who have the same desire and aspiration, you will hear over and over and over, and you probably heard it in all of those interviews. What did they say? They said, oh, there was the community. Oh, I have women that support me. Oh, even when things didn't get, what did Belinda say? What did Belinda say? She said, I had my accountability partners, and that's what it's about. In order to go to the next level, someone has to take you there. But the most important thing is that when the conversation is different. Amen. Iron sharpens iron. The conversation is different when you are in a circle of people who are aspire and want to go higher, and in a circle of excellence. And I hope you have felt that, because many of the women who are already in this community, right, are attending the challenge. Even though they've been through this challenge 2 or 3 times, they're here. Why are they here? They're here because they get inspired. It's like food. It's like the right energy. Are you guys feeling that? In the chat, let me know. Okay, so today it's all about our 7-figure portfolio challenge. How many of you believe that you can build.
Are you ready to take a leading
Sorry
role?
about that. How many of you believe that you can build a 7-figure portfolio? Now, this is why this is important, because I want you to, we're actually going to do almost a simulation of if you had invested, right? Like if you had this information 10 years ago, could you have become a millionaire? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I want you to take out your workbook, and your workbook says Portfolio Challenge, choose 5 stocks. And you know, one of the things I wanted to, let me just back up for a minute before we get into the challenge, because I conveyed something to you very early on about the reason that you need to diversify into not just mutual funds, but into stocks, is because some companies are always making money. That's what I want you to know. You know, and that's what I learned from being about the ultra wealthy. When the market went down, they didn't sell. They went looking for stocks that were on sale. They went looking for companies that were going to flourish in whatever the current economic environment is. Okay? So I don't like to tell you what the folks in WealthyU know, is that I like to show you. And so here's an example of why the knowledge of how the financial markets work and how and investing works is because what you need to understand is that there are always winners. Okay, so 2021, one of the most volatile times of the market, but as you can see, there are some companies that did really well. Google was up 65%. Extra space storage. Do you guys see those storage things popping up around? Because you guys got so much stuff, and because you spent so much money on so much stuff, now you got to go get a storage place and pay them for it. And they're growing by leaps and bounds. Blackstone, an asset management firm that manages money for the ultra wealthy, they were up. And Real Estate Investments Trust, we know real estate is up 99%. But look at the companies that were down. Zillow Group, you know Zillow, where you go online and you see how much the value of homes are, or you go look at, if you want to go to open house. Precious metal companies were down, although last year all you could hear was people talking about go to gold because the sky is falling, PayPal, of all companies, one of the most profitable companies in the past decade, it was even down 19%. So let me just ask the question, based on what I just showed you, what did you learn? In the chat, what did that chart show you? You had winners, you had losers, right? Just looking at the winners and losers and the companies, that's right, Linda, there is always a way to make money, and that is the wealth mindset. That's right. Buy PayPal when it's down. That's the other thing. That's what you want to do. You want to buy low, right? Cassandra, what it also showed was volatility. Someone said buy Google. That's interesting because they just went, if they haven't done their 20-for-1 split, they're just about to. Winners and losers, but not always. So what I want you to understand, here's what I want you to understand, is when you stop being fearful of, now the market's going up, down, interest rates are going up, inflation is going up. Okay, so let's peel the onion. So if inflation is going up, what are the companies that are going to do well? Well, we already see it. These oil companies, basically, they saw that they could charge us $5, and even though the oil prices have come down, they're still charging us $5. So the exercise today is really about you understanding that The way your money grows the most rapidly is investing in the stock market, but what you've got to be willing to do is you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to rid yourself of holding on and being so afraid of holding on to what you got, to risking something to get more. I want you guys to get this. Like, you've got to be willing to invest to get a return on your investment. Now, I'm gonna just let that sit for a minute. Not that I have too much time, but did you get that? In order to win, you have got to be willing to invest to get a return on investment. Scared money never wins. That's what your mama told you. Did your mama ever tell you? She ever tell you that? Okay, scared money does not win. And so in order for you to get any kind of return on investment, you've got to be willing to make an investment, and you've got to be willing to take a risk, and you've got to be willing to bet on yourself. So that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We're going to have you bet on yourself. And so tonight, let me just explain the assignment. I want you all to know the assignment. Okay? Scared money don't make money. That's right. Okay? Here is the assignment. The assignment tonight is that you are going to be given $20,000. No, actually, you're going to be given $100,000. Okay? And you're going to invest that $100,000 in 5 stocks. Okay? So when I show you these, all I want you to do is choose 5 stocks. Okay, let's make sure we mute everyone. Okay. So you're going to choose 5 stocks. I'm going to bring up these 5 stocks. Some of them you're going to be familiar with, some of them you're not, but you're literally going to only have 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes to choose 5 stocks that if you had invested in 10 years ago, if you had invested $20,000 in them, $100,000, they would now be worth $1 million. Okay, so in the chat, tell me, I understand the assignment. I understand the assignment. All you got to do, pick 5 of these stocks I'm about to put up here, and then you're gonna have 5 minutes to do it. So let me pull them up. And these are the 5 stocks. These are the 10 stocks that you need to pick 5 stocks from this list. Okay? Apple. I'm going to leave the list up. Amazon. Biomed. Fair Isaac. Market Access. Ross Stores. Starbucks. TJ Maxx, Target. Now, here's the other thing. I don't want you guys Googling or look. I don't want you to do any research tonight. I just want you to do it by gut. Okay? Look at these companies. Think back 10 years. Which are the ones that have grown the most? So it is now 8:31. At 8:36, you would have chosen your 5 stocks. So I'm going to put a little music on this. All right, all right, all right. It is 8:36. All right, let's see. Amazon. Okay, 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 okay. All right, Target Apple. Well, let me share my screen and let's see if you got it right. Hang on one second. I am gonna go here, and there are the answer. Here's it. If you picked Apple, Amazon, A Biomed, Fair Isaac, and that's FICO, right? And Market Access, you would have had $1 million. Now, most of you got them right. Like if you picked, some of you picked Target, Apple was a good one. Ross did pretty well, but as you can see, Apple, Amazon, A Biomed, Fair Isaac, and Market Access were the winners. So great lesson, right? So I'm more. Is that amazing? That 10 years ago, imagine if you had been investing through your 401k or through or you had been putting money in your IRA. You know, that's why it is important for you really to expand, not just into, that's right, you would have been a millionaire and you went on your gut instinction. And that's the point I want to make. But here's what I want you to understand. In WealthyU, you learn how to not only use your gut, but use research and crunch the numbers, right? Like if you can do this just top of mind, imagine what you can do when you're armed with the same process that analysts use to pick the investments that go in your mutual funds. That's really what it's about. So let's see, what's your takeaway? Ruth says, I would have been a millionaire. I went on gut. Nefertari says, yep, millionaire here in other life, right? Charlotte Thomas, right. Well, here's what I want you to know. The power of what happens, right? The power of what happens when you get access to the knowledge to actually be able to invest and take calculated risk. So I want to share with you exactly what happened to someone when she got access to the information and applied it.
This has been by far the most lucrative investment that I have made in my personal finances and in myself. And so I would say to someone, just do it. It is, it's not hard, especially with the guidance and direction that Deborah and the WealthyU has created. And you get good support. I mean, I have some other sisters that are part of this community that will encourage me and check up on me as well. And it's been a tremendous shift in terms of my financial awareness and my financial practices. And I used to think I'm smart, but there are specialists in this area for a reason, right? That's why, you know, you have financial coaches and you have folks that are in the financial investment space, right? You go to them and let them do that kind of stuff. And I think it was in 2 or 3 sessions, right? Just you showing me the plan, one for how I evaluate funds. And we did that first because that's where my money was. And that's then right. Second, how I evaluate stock. And it was easier than I thought. And I am super proud to say this because, you know, before I was working with you, I did not have a separate stock fund outside of some of the financial investment, the finance stocks that I was getting through my company, but not something separate. And my stock portfolio has given me a return in the last year of 84%.
And so here's what I want all of you to understand. If it can happen for her, it can happen for you, right? And she had bought into the idea that, how many of you can relate to what you just heard from Dia? So that is your homework, because one of the things you're going to see Dia's entire Get Wealthy interview, and she's going to share with you exactly how she applied what she learned through WealthyU. If it can happen for her, it can happen for you. In the chat, that's what I want you to put. If it can happen for her, it can happen for me. It can. The only thing standing between you and the financial success you desire and you deserve is knowledge. Agree or disagree with me, ladies? Was that a great exercise? So I just wanted you to see that it's not magic. These are companies that you invest in every day. You're just not investing in them, right? You're investing in them with their dollars and consuming their products. You're just not taking advantage of them, and they're hidden in plain sight. And so Stephanie, one of the things I said, we hadn't done any giveaways, so I wanted to give some giveaways out tonight. And so again, we're going to do this again. So you're going to watch your homework video, and then you're going to make comments on your takeaways. So Steph, if you could tell us who are the winners. Our first winner gets one of our lovely WealthyU wine glasses and one of our little pouches. Who was the first winner, Steph?
Raquel Ziegler.
Raquel Ziegler, I hope you're here, because we're going to make sure we get this off to you. So good job for your comments.
And I will put in the chat the actual, you will need to email us your information so that we can send that out to you, okay?
Congratulations. And our second winner of a signed autographed copy of my critically acclaimed Meta Invitation book, A Purse of Your Own. Who is the winner of our Purse of Your Own?
That would be Joyce Valentine.
Joyce Valentine, give her a hand, Joyce. I hope you're here this evening. Wonderful, wonderful. So your assignment, everybody knows the assignment. You're going to watch the Get Wealthy episode with Dia. You just saw a clip of her kind of situation, and then you are going to make your comments in the chat. So in the chat, let me know, how did you feel about tonight's assignment? And how many of you truly believe that if it can happen for them, it can happen for you? Well, here's what I want you to know is, what I want to know is, who is going to be my next Dia? Who is going to be the next Belinda? Who is going to be the next Sharon Dean? Who is going to be one of the million with a million? And the reason I ask that is, we are opening the door to our WealthyU Society this evening. And so everything that you've heard from through this week, you watched how women got into our coaching program. Our WealthyU Society is our flagship program, and applied what they learned. And now they're achieving the level of success they desire and they deserve. And what I want you to know is, if they can do it, you can do it too. You can become one of the million with a million. And so in the chat, Stephanie, if you could put the link in, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what you need to do to join the WealthyU Society. But before I even do that, what I want you to understand is, the reason I showed you my reel of this 20-year journey is so you know how committed I have been to helping women achieve the level of financial success they desire. But what I also want you to understand is that it really was fraught with a lot of discouragement, obstacles, looking for capital, looking for the folks to help me reach these million women. And that is when I decided to launch WealthyU and roll up my sleeves at the urging of my son. I must give him credit, who said to me, he was like, "Ma, you're known as America's wealth coach. People need accountability and they need support." And that's when WealthyU was launched in 2015. And to see the level of success that women just like you, who were sitting in the audience just like you, are experiencing now is amazing. But here's what I want you to know. On one of my first pitches when I was raising money to build WealthyU, I gave a great pitch. And I came off the stage and a man came up to me and he says, "Wow, that was a wonderful pitch. You did really well." He said, "But yeah, that problem you're trying to solve, helping a Black woman achieve financial security, that's like rolling a boulder up a hill." But I did not let that discourage me. I let it encourage me, and I got fueled and fired up by those words of encouragement, those words of discouragement, if you will. And so that's what I want to ask you. Are you fired up and are you ready to go?
Fired up, ready to go. 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 I'm Edith S. Childs from Greenwood, South Carolina, and I'm the one that got Barack Obama fired up.
And so I just want to close with a story that some of you know, because it shows you the importance of one voice. And it's a story about my first trip to Greenwood.
When I heard that he was coming to Greenwood, I thought, okay, I'm just going to go and welcome him to Greenwood.
Turns out that Greenwood is about an hour and a half from everywhere else.
Well, Greenwood is a little bit out of the way.
So we drive. We drive and we drive. Finally, we get to Greenwood. We pull up to a small building.
Right here in this building, the Civic Center.
It's pouring down rain. And my umbrella blows open. And I get soaked. I'm mad. I'm wet. We go inside, and lo and behold, after an hour and a half drive, turns out there are 20 people there.
When he first came in the room, he had this grin on his face, like maybe I'm in the wrong place. It was a small group of people.
20 people. And they all look kind of damp and kind of sleepy, like maybe they aren't really excited to be there either.
And looking around at everyone in the room, I knew we had to do something.
Suddenly, I hear this voice cry out behind me, "Fired up!" And I'm shocked.
I know that the senator wasn't sure what was going on because he had that look on his face.
So I look behind me, and there's this small woman. Looks like she just came from church. She got a big church hat. And she's standing there, and she looks at me, and she's smiling. And she says,
"Fired up, ready to go." I knew we needed to keep singing. Fired up, ready to go.
And so for the next 5 minutes, she proceeds to do this. Fired up. Everybody says fired up and ready to go. And everybody says ready to go. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, she's stealing my thunder. I look at my staff, they shrug their shoulders. They don't know how long this is going to go. But here's the thing, Virginia. After a minute or so, I'm feeling kind of fired up. I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. So I join in the chant. And it feels good. And for the rest of the day, even after we left Greenwood, I'd see my staff. I'd say, are you fired up? They'd say, we're fired up, boss. Are you ready to go? I'd say, I'm ready to go.
Once you hear it, you will never forget it.
So some people start putting fired up, ready to go on their shirts. Some people start putting fired up, ready to go on signs. Everybody's saying fired up and ready to go.
Fired up, ready to go.
It shows you what one voice can do. One voice can change a room. And if the voice can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. Your voice can change the world. So I just got one question for you. Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Fired up. Ready to go. 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 Fired up. Ready to go.
Fired up.
Let's go change the world.
Fired up, ready to go. Y'all fired up and ready to go. My question to all of you is, are you going to become one of the million with a million? You saw it all week. If it can happen for them, it can happen for you, but it all starts right here. And so I'm going to open the doors to the WealthyU Society. For those of you who are ready to become one of those with a million, and what I would say to you is that every woman that you have seen profiled this week was sitting right where you were. And the only difference is she invested in herself. And now I want to share with you exactly what this program is. The commitment that if you commit to do all of the things, the strategy, mindset, strategy, and execution, it can happen for you. And so that's what I'm going to share with you right now. So if you want to follow along, you can go right to the website. And what I really want you to understand is that what got you to your 6 figures and where you are right now will not take you for 7 figures and beyond. And what you heard all of those women in those Get Wealthy programs, in those profiles share is that what I want you to understand is they are you and I am you. How many of you are perhaps the first in your family to have achieved a level of success, and you really feel like you should be further ahead, but you don't know why? Well, the reason you don't know why is what I discovered by going into the investment industry and learning all of the concepts and strategies that they were privy to that we were not. And that I never learned in my formal education. Fortunately, though, there are options that are available to you right now. And that's what you saw all of those women apply and get access to the knowledge, what happens. So the truth is, the reason they don't talk to you about it is because this information is hidden. And unless you had someone in family give you the keys to the knowledge, you would never get access to it. And that's really why I founded the WealthyU Society. And it's really, I created WealthyU after spending decades in the investment industry and wanting to give you access and knowing that if I did, that the dream was that if you got access to this knowledge and applied it, that you can achieve the same level of success that the ultra wealthy did. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happening. And so you have the opportunity to pay monthly or pay in full. But what I want to do is just give you an overview of everything that the program entails. So a lot of these concepts I've shared with you throughout the week, but the truth is that you really have been looking for financial advice in all the wrong places. What you really need is to get access to this information. And the bottom line is it's not by accident or one-off incident, it's by design. And so let me just go over the WealthyU Society is a 12-month Wealth Accelerator for high-achieving women who are ready to create generational wealth, security, and freedom for their families. In the next 12 months, and that's what our program is, 12 months, you are going to learn how to turn your income into leveraged assets so that they can grow and you can create financial independence. Inside this program, we will be teaching you how to become your savvy investor and wealth manager. So you can create a diversified portfolio of some of the investments that we discussed that you were privy to. And I'm going to be double clicking on all of these concepts in the special VIP bonus training on Monday at 8 o'clock. And so this is what you get in the WealthyU Society program. An all access paths to our WealthyU portal, which contains our 10 module proprietary curriculum that's based on our my book, A Purse of Your Own. Every month you will have a strategic advisory session with me where you will come and get access to understand what specific investment opportunity levers based on what you have you should pull. Every week, you're going to get access to weekly skill building sessions that include how to analyze and research mutual funds, how to analyze and research stocks. That's what Dia alluded to. How to you get training on how to actually calculate how much money you need so you will not run out of money. You heard Belinda allude to that in her interview. You're going to learn how to invest using financial apps if you don't have a brokerage account now, and you will learn how to build an actual stock watch list and to learn how to invest in, to watch stocks and then how to invest in. But here is bonus number 1. Our digital vault includes our Purse of Your Own book, our Confident Investing audiobook, our Nickel and Dime ebook, our Investing in Volatile Times audio training, and all of our masterclass replays that we've had in the past. In addition to that, you're going to get an all-access pass to all of our future quarterly WealthyU events, and we've had master classes, and you learn how to leverage LinkedIn, how you learn about Bitcoin, you learn tax-advantaged investment strategies, you learn estate planning. You get all of that for free access, an all-access pass, whereas people who are coming into the program, they have to pay for that individually, and that's included in your membership fee. You also get 12-month access to all of the recordings, all of the training that you will get exposed to as you go through those skill building sessions. You'll also get free access to any courses that we release in the next 12 months because this is a program and not a course. And then finally, if you choose to go into our higher level program, our Legacy Wealth Accelerator, all of your investment will be credited then to your the tuition for the next level program. So it's $497, 12 payments of $497, or one payment of $4,997. And the key there is that you'll get a savings of $1,000 if you pay in full. But I actually want to go over some of our frequently asked questions, and I'll take questions at the end of this. And actually tomorrow, we're going to have a full Q&A, and you'll be able to ask questions of our WealthyU ambassadors as well. So I'm going to go through all of this, and then I'm going to take your questions. So how much time do I need to spend for the program each week? I can't wait till you see Dia's interview, because she really talks about it. So we recommend that you dedicate at least 2 hours a week to attend the trainings and implement what you learn, because we know that most of you are pretty busy, and all of our trainings are held at 8:00 p.m. in the evening, and they're all recorded. And the only thing I want to say is I really want to encourage all of you to attend the meetings in person, because you get your questions asked in real time. So one of the other questions we get is, if I hit a hurdle, will there be someone to help me inside the program? Absolutely. Because your WealthyU ambassador, who's been there to support you throughout this challenge, she actually becomes your member success advisor. She is someone who's been through the program just like you, has mastered many of the concepts, and will also be available to you to make sure you know where all of your resources are. We also have a community manager, and all of us answer your questions. All you have to do is post a question in our private Facebook group. If you don't understand something, but you're going to find that many of the women who are in the program, they're going to be the ones who will answer your questions pretty quickly. So one of the other questions that we get is, will the information I share within the program be kept private? Absolutely. The one thing, I share it with you, that transparency is very, very important. But the truth is that what I really want to convey is, don't share anything you don't feel comfortable sharing. So yes, we are confidential. It's not something that we share with other people. Our classes are, if they're details, we do want you to keep private. We don't want you to share any of your personal values or your account numbers. We're pretty careful about that. What kind of investment strategies do we discuss in the program? Primarily, we talk about how to leverage and the tax advantages available through your employer, and teach you how to build an investment portfolio outside of your retirement plans. Our classes are taught by facilitators who've mastered the concepts, and now they transfer that knowledge to the members in the program. Here's the other thing you need to understand is, everything we do with rigor. It's not guessing. You're going to have a spreadsheet with criteria that shows you how to analyze and research mutual funds. You're going to have a spreadsheet with criteria that shows you how to analyze and research stocks. You're going to have a spreadsheet. We're really into spreadsheets. But whenever anyone asks me a question about what they think they should do, the first thing I tell them is to crunch the numbers. And that's really how you learn how to take calculated risk and make sound financial decisions. The other question we often get is, how fast can I expect to see results? Well, quite frankly, just like you experienced this week when you went through that Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, and you see that you have a lot more money than you think you have, many of you are going to see results almost immediately, because once you learn how to analyze your investments, how to put them in proper funds that are paying what I want to say a competitive return, you're going to begin to see results. And in addition to that, one of the things we see very quickly is that people start making a commitment to their future and investing more. Another question we get, I already have other financial advisors. Why do I need this program? Because as you saw in many of those interviews, the confidence that women now had to not just accept what they were put in, really analyze their investments, understand it, and give their advisor some insight and feedback as to how they felt they were performing. It says, is there a community with this product? Yes, you have a private Facebook group outside of our WealthyU community. All the members in our WealthyU society have their own private Facebook group, as well as members in our Legacy Wealth Accelerator. Another question we often get is, can I share this with a friend? All of the information in our portal is proprietary, and we really, you will sign an agreement saying that you would not share this information, but we really encourage you to invite your friends and to make sure that, if you do refer, if you do refer someone, that you actually get a referral fee for that. And so the only thing I can show you on this, you're looking at this same page that I'm looking at. I want to really encourage you to sign up. And here's the other incentive I want to give you. For those of you who sign up, the first 20 who sign up, you're going to get our fast start. And fast start means that you're going to be able to come to a 90-minute session with me, and you're going to get your plan in action. That spreadsheet that I talked about, it's a 90-minute strategy session with me. You're going to learn how to figure out what your wealth gap is, the different levers that you need to pull so that you hit the ground running and accelerate your financial growth as fast as possible. So this is open to the first 20 who sign up. So don't wait, folks. Don't wait. If this is something that you want, you can pay them for, or you can do the payment plan. But if you're one of the first 20 to sign up, then you're going to get this special fast start bonus session with me for 90 minutes. And we're going to make sure you're off to the races. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions, and also let you know that we're going to have a whole Q&A session planned for you tomorrow to answer any more of your questions. But in the chat, if you did join, I want to give you a shout out. So if you did join, I want to give you a shout out this evening. Know that you're already set for our fast start bonus session. And also let you know that if it can happen for all of the women that you've seen this week, it can happen for you. And I'm excited that you spent these 4 days with me, but just know that it is not over yet. We still have our Q&A session tomorrow. You'll be hearing from our WealthyU ambassador panel tomorrow, where they'll be sharing their story and what it's been like, for what their experience has been like in WealthyU, and we'll also be taking your questions. So with that, Stephanie, do I have any questions in the chat for this evening?
Ladies, drop your questions if you have any. Hold on a second, Deborah.
All right. Well, if you don't have any questions, hey, just know that Tomorrow night, we're right back here. We have a special Q&A session, and you'll be hearing from our WealthyU ambassadors. I'll do a review of everything that you've learned this week. And if you do have more questions, certainly we'll answer them tomorrow. And so with that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There is one question. What if I don't make six figures?
Well, it's not that you have to make six figures. Many of the women in our WealthyU society did not start with six figures. In fact, if you go, there's a great session, there's a great Get Wealthy segment with Charity. She's episode number 2. I'll make sure we put that in the chat. Find that episode and put it actually in the WealthyU community. She started out making $40,000 a year. We've had ambassadors who haven't made nearly, half of that and have portfolios with multiple six figures. So it's not how much money you make, it's how much of it you're able to invest. In fact, so much of our ability to invest, if we have lower expenses, right? Who's better off? The person that's making $50,000 and only spending $40,000, or the person that's making $100,000 and spending $20,000? It's not how much you make. It's what you do, how you manage those funds, and more importantly, how you put that money to work. So that's a great question.
There's a couple more. Is there real estate training in the WealthyU program?
So in our WealthyU society, we don't focus on real estate, but if you want to apply to our Legacy Wealth Accelerator, that's our more if you need higher level kinds of strategies. So in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, we focus on tax advantaged investing. We focus on real estate. We focus on accredited investing. And so if you have an interest in things other than just stocks and mutual funds, I'm going to encourage you to have your WealthyU ambassador send you the link to apply to that program. And then once you apply, then you'll have a conversation with me if you qualify for it. Good questions.
How much specific training do we get in the advanced class? Barbara, do you want to unmute and explain that question?
Yeah, or, I can certainly. So in the advanced class, you actually get one-on-one coaching with me. So not only do you get higher level concepts, or we expand on the concepts that you learn in WealthyU, because in that higher level program, you also get the WealthyU Society, but then you get one-on-one coaching as well as attend classes by our other master instructors as well.
Is it okay to invest in different amounts each month as long as you are investing monthly?
When you say investing in different amounts, all I'm going to say is the time to invest is, when you have the money and whatever you can afford, right? Like one of the things you learn in WealthyU, it's not how much, it's how often and how long, right? So to that end, as long as you're investing consistently in, of course, the right things that are going to help your money grow, then, do it consistently. Absolutely. I'd say yes, yes, and yes.
Hi, Mrs. Owens. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I work for the SEC, and I'm super nervous about this new journey. We have to report everything, and I have to get past this fear, which I'm really trying. Could you offer me any advice? I really want to sign up.
Oh, yeah. I've had to report everything. I was a Series 7, you could probably look up my record if you just Google my name, and you'll know what licenses I have to have. And this is what I told everybody I ever managed. Compliance is your friend. right? But what they are not saying is that you can't invest. You just need to disclose it, right? And so I think that the most important thing I think you need is knowledge. And we're not an investment company, so you don't have to report us. We don't sell securities. We simply are financial education. Now, when you open up an investment account, whether it's with Fidelity or whatever, you are going to have to report it, right? As long as it's not insider trading or anything like that, then you don't have to be fearful of it, right? You simply, in fact, I worked for one organization and I was on television and radio, so you can imagine what that was like. So don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. As long as you stay within the lines and you're not doing anything that's out of compliance, you will be fine. But my point is, if senators and all these other people can invest and disclose it, why can't you? So I hope that was helpful, Kia.
I have a fund I can take out at 59 and a half without penalty. Do I leave it in or take it out to invest?
Well, I would say, I don't know your personal situation, but there would be no reason for you to take it out if it's I'm assuming it's some kind of deferred comp plan, meaning it was a 401k or with an employer. You can simply transfer that to another company under, it could be a rollover IRA or something of that sort, and still invest it in something that's going to grow more rapidly and not have to pay taxes on it until you actually are ready to take the money out. So I think that's the situation you're in, but you can still invest it without even having to incur any kind of tax penalty.
So there's one question. Jan is asking how much is the Legacy Wealth Accelerator? And to answer your question, that is application only. So once you apply, then Ms. Deborah will look at your application and determine if you're a good fit for that program. And that concludes all our questions for tonight.
Excellent. Well, I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I hope you're fired up and ready to go. I can't wait to see you in the WealthyU Society. By the way, when you sign up, your orientation will be, when is orientation? Is it April the 25th?
Yes.
It's April the 25th. So just so you know, you sign up, you get access to the portal right away. You connect with your, now not your ambassador, but your member success advisor, and your member success advisor kind of shows you the way. You get access to our private Facebook group, and you get access to all of the prior trainings. If you're really excited about getting started on this journey, I want to really encourage you to make the investment. Don't be getting ready to get ready. And I really want you to be one of those 20 who are with me for that 90-minute session so that you can start this journey with me off right. And I hope that you become one. I know if you make the investment in yourself that you're going to become one of the million with the million, and that you will be an example for the women on the Get Wealthy program when you're sharing how you applied everything that you learned. And finally, our VIP bonus session, where I'm going to delve deeper into our mindset strategy framework and how the women accelerate their financial growth, is Monday night at 8 o'clock. Please apply. You have to apply in order to attend that event, and I look forward to seeing you there. So that's going to do it for me this evening, everybody. I want to thank my team who's been staffing me all week. I see all our ambassadors are here. And by the way, before I go, if you have not connected with your ambassador, Virginia Rutherford Hall, Michelle Smith, Anita Jenkins, they are there to answer all of your questions. And you're going to hear their remarkable stories about their own financial transformations right back here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Again, we can't wait to see you, welcome you into the WealthyU Society, into this sisterhood, and help you become one of those million with a million.